Every person who ever rose above the ordinary had one thing in common. They suffered, not lightly, not conveniently, but deeply. Pain was their forge. It burned away weakness, pride, and illusion until what remained was pure, will unbreakable, unyielding, unstoppable. The world remembers men and women like that not because they avoided hardship, but because they times transformed times it. Edison faced failure after failure, 10,000 attempts before a single filament glowed. Carnegie was born into poverty so crushing most would have surrendered to it. Disney was fired, told he lacked imagination. Lincoln lost election after election before he carried a nation through its darkest hour. They all walked through the fire. But here's the truth, the fire didn't destroy them. It times defined times them. And you right now are standing in your own fire. It hurts, it feels unfair, it feels endless. But if you learn to harness it, to face it, not flee from it, that pain will become the raw fuel that powers your rise. Every struggle, every setback, every heartbreak, it's the world's way of asking, asterisk, how much do you want this? Asterisk, do you want comfort or do you want greatness? Do you want to be remembered for how easy your path was or how unstoppable your spirit became? Pain introduces you to yourself. It strips away your masks, your excuses, your fantasies. It shows you what you really are when the world stops clapping. It shows you whether your dreams are built on talk or built on truth. You see, the strongest steel is not forged in gentle heat. It's formed in the furnace under pressure, under pain, under force. And that's exactly how life shapes you. Every time you're pushed to your limits, you're being refined. Every failure is a hammer strike. Every heartbreak is heat. Every disappointment is pressure molding you into something greater. Don't curse the pain. Use it. Because those who learn to times use times pain rule their destiny. Those who avoid it become slaves to their emotions, prisoners of circumstance, victims of life's unpredictability. When you master pain, you master power. Because pain at its core is just energy, concentrated, raw, chaotic energy. And energy can be redirected. It can be transformed. That's what the greats did. That's what you must do. Every challenge you face is an invitation to choose. Will you collapse under pressure or will you rise through it? Napoleon Hill once said, asterisk, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Asterisk. But here's the part people miss, that seed doesn't grow by itself. You must times plant it, asterisk. You must times nurture it, asterisk. You must times believe times in its potential when all you see is dirt and darkness. When the storm hits, most people run. They hide, complain, wait for calm skies to return. But the ones who rise, the ones who dominate their destiny, they face the storm. They say, if this is what it takes to become who I must be, then so be it. Your mind is the battlefield. Pain will attack you there first. It will whisper, you can't. It will remind you of every failure, every rejection, every wound. And if you listen, if you let those whispers take root, they'll become chains that lock your potential away. But when you stand tall, when you tell yourself, this pain is my teacher, not my enemy, something shifts inside you. Suddenly the suffering has meaning, the failure has direction, the hardship has purpose. The man who learns from pain becomes untouchable. He stops running from life. He becomes a master of it. He no longer says, why me? He says, try me. That shift from victim to creator is where power begins. Because once you accept responsibility for your response, pain loses its control. You start to see patterns. Every failure led you closer to clarity. Every rejection redirected you to something better. The moment you stop fighting pain and start times working with it, asterisk, you enter a state most people never reach, a mindset of mastery. No one will believe in your strength if you don't. And belief doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in crisis. When your back is against the wall, when no one claps, when no one sees your effort, that's when belief either dies or becomes immortal. Think of Thomas Edison working through endless nights, his hands blistered, his ideas mocked. Every failed experiment could have been proof that he was foolish. But to him, every failure was evidence that he was times closer, asterisk. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the power of inner belief, the refusal to see pain as punishment but as progression. That mindset builds empires. That mindset creates millionaires, inventors, leaders, legends. Your belief system determines whether pain becomes your prison or your power. If you believe the world is against you, you'll always find proof. But if you believe every obstacle is an opportunity, you'll always find a way. You attract what you expect and you become what you believe. The man who believes he can endure anything will. The woman who believes her pain has purpose will find it, because belief is the alchemy that turns suffering into success. So when you are tested, when you are broken, when you are at the edge of your endurance, remember, you're not being destroyed, you're being designed. Pain blurs vision. It makes you think short term. It convinces you the world is ending. But clarity, real clarity, comes only after struggle. You cannot see your true purpose from the comfort of the couch. You find it in the chaos, in the uncertainty, in the moments when everything inside you screams to give up. The pain you feel now is preparing you for the power you asked for. You said you wanted strength, so life gave you resistance. You said you wanted patience, so life made you wait. You said you wanted courage, so life put you in fear. Everything you asked for is coming, just not in the form you expected. Because life doesn't hand you blessings, it hands you lessons, and it watches to see if you're ready to hold the weight of what you desire. So when you're in pain, don't just feel it, times study it asterisk. Ask, what is this teaching me? What part of me needs to grow to handle what's next? That's how you rise. That's how you sharpen vision. That's how you turn pain into a map toward purpose. The fog will lift. It always does. But if you quit before it does, you'll never see the view that struggle was leading you toward. And that's the tragedy for most people. They give up right before the breakthrough. Remember this, the night is darkest before the dawn. Hold the line, keep moving, keep believing. Because the same fire that burns also purifies. And the moment you realize that, you stop fearing the flame. The difference between those who crumble under pain and those who rise through it comes down to vision. When you see beyond the moment, pain loses its control. When your eyes are fixed on purpose, no wound can stop your walk. Vision turns agony into architecture. It gives the suffering direction. It says, this may hurt now, but I am building something eternal. Look at every great builder of empires, Ford, Rockefeller, Carnegie, Jobs. They didn't see life as it was, they saw it as at times could be asterisk. They endured sleepless nights, betrayal, and endless doubt. But their vision burned brighter than their pain. Vision is the language of the soul. It's the blueprint of destiny. Without it, pain feels meaningless. With it, pain becomes the sculptor that shapes the masterpiece. You must hold a vision so clear, so emotionally charged, that even your darkest moments serve it. When people doubt you, when fear whispers in your ear, when the world pushes you to quit, your vision must speak louder. Don't waste your pain times, assign times it. Assign it to your purpose. Assign it to your dream. Let every sleepless night, every heartbreak, every failure be invested into something greater than your suffering. Because the truth is this, you can't control how pain arrives, but you can control how it leaves. You can let it leave you bitter, or you can let it leave you better. You can let it break your heart, or you can let it strengthen your soul. Pain doesn't ask permission, but power does. Power waits for you to choose it. And the moment you do, when you stop saying, why me, and start saying, watch me, you begin the transformation every great life demands. Purpose gives pain a reason to exist. Without purpose, pain feels cruel. With purpose, pain feels necessary. Purpose doesn't make the suffering easier, it makes it times worth it, asterisk. Every great achiever had a reason bigger than comfort. Their why was heavier than their wounds. When Henry Ford faced bankruptcy and mockery, his purpose wasn't money, it was freedom. He believed the common man deserved mobility, deserved power over his own destiny. So he endured humiliation and loss until his vision rolled on four wheels into history. When Helen Keller lost her sight and hearing, her purpose became illumination not for herself, but for the millions who lived in darkness. When she found her why, her how appeared. She didn't see obstacles, she saw assignments. Pain without purpose is suffering. Pain with purpose is progress. So ask yourself, why do you want what you want? Why must you rise? Why must you not give up? When your purpose is shallow to impress, to be seen, to prove the moment pain hits, you'll fold. But when your purpose is rooted in something divine, something internal, something unshakable, pain becomes powerless. You must know what you're fighting for, because pain is a test of truth. If your dream isn't worth your suffering, it isn't worth your life. Purpose transforms the impossible into inevitable. It's what keeps your fire burning when the world goes cold. So dive deep. Find a reason so powerful it can outlast rejection, ridicule, and exhaustion. When you find it, cling to it, because purpose is the bridge that turns agony into achievement. Discipline is how you turn pain into progress. It's the daily decision to keep walking through the storm when no one would blame you for sitting down. Most people treat pain as a signal to stop. The disciplines see it as a signal to focus. Pain says, this is where most people quit. Discipline says, then this is exactly where I must continue. Think about it. The great pyramids, the skyscrapers, the empires of innovation weren't built in moments of ease. They were built on consistent, unglamorous effort, days, months, years of silent work. Discipline is devotion in motion. It is faith expressed through persistence. It's the refusal to let emotion dictate direction. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel." Every day you act in discipline, you harden your will. Every moment you endure discomfort with focus, you build internal armor. Pain tests that discipline. It whispers, "Take the easy road." But discipline replies, "I don't take directions from weakness. Your habit decide your future long before your hopes do." Because the mind that masters routine masters reality. You cannot control the timing of success, but you can control your consistency. You cannot control outcomes, but you can control effort. And effort, repeated with discipline, becomes unstoppable momentum. So when you wake up in pain, move anyway. When your heart is heavy, focus anyway. When doubt screams in your head, act anyway. Discipline is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of it. And when you master emotion, pain becomes your compass. It points you to the exact place your growth is hiding. You will fall. You will fail. You will lose people, moments, money, and sometimes even faith. But resilience is the art of resurrection. It's the strength to stand again, not as you were, but as you've become. Every fall teaches you something the climb never could. Failure reveals foundations. It shows you what was real and what was fragile. It humbles the ego and strengthens the soul. The greats understood this. They never prayed for lighter loads. They prayed for stronger backs. They knew that the world doesn't reward those who never fall. It rewards those who never times stay times down. Resilience is not built in comfort, it's born in chaos. It's a muscle that only grows under pressure. And the more you exercise it, the less fear you feel. Because once you've risen from your worst pain, what else can the world do to you? What loss can truly destroy a soul that's already rebuilt itself from ashes? You stop fearing failure when you realize it's temporary. You stop fearing rejection when you understand its redirection. You stop fearing pain when you see that it's just preparation. The resilient don't ask for guarantees, they ask for growth. They don't crave safety, they crave strength. Every scar becomes a signature. Every setback becomes a story. And every painful moment becomes proof that you were chosen for something greater than mediocrity. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you feel it and rise anyway. So let every failure fuel your faith. Let every heartbreak refine your hope. Let every loss teach you the art of beginning again. There comes a moment when thinking, planning, and wishing are no longer enough. You must act. Because pain without action becomes poison. It festers. It corrodes the spirit. But when you times move, times when you take even one bold step through, the ache pain transforms into fuel. The secret is this: movement heals. When you move, you shift the energy. You stop being a victim of emotion and become the architect of motion. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the fear to vanish. Start where you are, with what you have. Because action, not comfort, is the antidote to despair. Think of the great builders of our world. Ford didn't wait for permission. Edison didn't wait for applause. They acted. They experimented. They failed forward. And each step, each setback, was a lesson carved into their destiny. When life knocks you down, your instinct will be to pause, to analyze, to question everything. But power only belongs to those who times move anyway, asterisk. Because the universe favors motion, not hesitation. Action tells life, I'm ready. Action tells your mind, asterisk, I'm in control, asterisk. And action tells pain, asterisk. You don't define me, I define you, asterisk. Don't overthink the path. Build it as you walk. Every great dreamer became a doer through the discipline of motion. And every time you move, despite the pain, you reclaim your power. So get up, move, build, create, push. Because destiny is written by those who act when others wait. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation. It's the invitation to evolve, to grow beyond who you were. Growth never happens in safety. It happens when your limits are shattered, when your comfort dissolves, when the old version of you no longer fits the person you are becoming. The world teaches you to avoid discomfort, but Napoleon Hill taught the opposite, asterisk. Every adversity carries the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Asterisk, that means hidden inside your pain is your next evolution, your next level of awareness, strength, and understanding. You cannot unlock that level without pressure. A seed only grows when it is buried. A diamond only forms under immense weight. And a human being only transforms when they face themselves in the furnace of challenge. Growth is the real goal. Success is just the side effect. Because when you grow stronger, more disciplined, more self-aware, wealth, health, and freedom follow naturally. Don't ask for an easier life. Ask for the strength to meet the one you have. Because life is not testing you to break you, it's testing you to times build you. Asterisk. When you see your pain as a tool of growth, you become unstoppable. You stop seeing failure as final. You stop seeing rejection as personal. You stop seeing loss as punishment. You start to see patterns, lessons, messages, directions. You start to trust that even when life is breaking you, it's actually building you. Every challenge is your curriculum. Every setback is your education. And pain is simply the tuition you pay for greatness. The world changes fast. Fortune favors not the strongest, but the most adaptable. And pain, more than anything else, teaches you how to adapt. When life shifts, you can resist it or you can rise with it. Those who resist become rigid. They snap under pressure. Those who adapt learn to bend, flow, and evolve. Adaptability is mental flexibility. It's the ability to reframe loss as learning, to turn chaos into creativity. The reason most people never grow is that they cling to what was the job that vanished, the dream that failed, the person who left. But pain shows you that everything changes. And if you change with it, you will always find your way. When one door closes, you can curse the loss or you can look for the open gate. When a plan collapses, you can cry or you can rebuild smarter. Adaptability is what keeps your momentum alive when the map catches fire. It says, if the mountain won't move, I'll learn to climb it. If the storm won't end, I'll learn to dance in the rain. Because life doesn't reward the stubborn, it rewards the responsive. So stop asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what is this shaping me into? The moment you learn that lesson, you evolve faster than anyone around you. Because adaptability is not survival, it's mastery. When you learn to be grateful for your pain, you reach a higher form of power. Because gratitude is not denial, it's dominion. It's saying, this didn't happen to me. It happened times for times me. Gratitude turns pain into wisdom. It softens bitterness and reveals meaning. It doesn't erase the scars. It gives them purpose. Every moment you choose gratitude, you step into abundance. Because what you appreciate appreciates. When you're thankful for the lessons, life gives you more growth. When you're thankful for the struggle, life gives you more strength. Think about it, how many of your greatest moments came disguised as heartbreak? How many blessings came from something you once cursed? Gratitude allows you to see the divine architecture behind the chaos. When you wake up and say, asterisk, thank you for the strength this pain gave me, asterisk, you're no longer controlled by it. You've turned it into something sacred. Gratitude doesn't make the fire cooler, it makes your spirit immune to the heat. It's how you walk through the storm smiling, because you've learned the storm was your teacher all along. That's where true peace begins, not in the absence of pain, but in the mastery of meaning. There comes a moment in every journey when the student becomes the source. When you no longer chase power, you times power. When pain no longer frightens you, it fuels you. That's the transformation. That's the awakening. You realize the storm wasn't there to destroy you. It was there to reveal you. It burned away the lies, the excuses, the weakness. It showed you that what you needed was never comfort, it was courage. You learned that success is not about avoiding pain, but times alchemizing times it. Taking the suffering that once paralyzed you and turning it into strength that liberates you. That is how ordinary people become legends. That is how dreamers become doers and believers become builders. The power you've been chasing was never out there, it's been inside you, buried beneath the ashes of every setback. You just needed the fire to uncover it. Pain revealed your discipline. Pain revealed your faith. Pain revealed your capacity to rise when no one expected you to. And now, you walk differently. You carry the weight of experience, the wisdom of resilience, the quiet fire of purpose. You don't react to pain anymore, you times respond times with power. Because now you know, pain is not the enemy. Pain is the passage. Pain is the proof that you are evolving. So when you face your next trial, and you will remember this truth, you are not being punished. You are being prepared. The world doesn't give greatness to the comfortable. It gives greatness to those who refuse to be broken. Stand tall in your storm. Breathe through your pain. Look life in the eye and say, you will not defeat me. You will times define times me. Because every time you rise again, you multiply your power. Every time you choose growth over grief, you ascend. Every time you thank your pain, you master your destiny. This is how you turn pain into power, not by waiting for it to end, but by transforming through it. Let your pain make you wise. Let your struggle make you strong. Let your scars remind the world that you didn't quit, you times evolved. Asterisk. Because pain is temporary. But power, your power is eternal.